Hey, it's Doug with an opportunity to catch up with Josh Baldwin, singer, worship leader. He joined the Bethel Music Collective in 2014. He's a husband and a dad and an all-around great guy. Josh, thanks for making time.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Well, there's a lot to talk about. First things first, though, congratulations on the fifth studio album, man. That's a whole hand.
That is. Thank you. It's five. Yeah. We joke around five's the number for grace in our house. So yeah, it feels true. So yeah, it's good. I think I'm hopefully they're getting better each one at a time, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
So the new one is called Where the Glory Is.
Where the Glory
Is
Is.
Overall theme to the album, an overall message, or it's song by song?
I mean, yeah, I think they tend to have a theme. I'm look back at some of my albums and I don't go into them thinking that way, but I mean I think it's just natural that especially when you're writing, most of the songs are all coming from what's going on in your life and that, in that span of time. And so then they kind of start to evolve into a theme. And I think that was the case with this one. I had a bunch of songs sitting there, and as I skimmed through them, a lot of them just kind of where the glory is kind of about just the walk with the Lord. That's where the glory is for me, is just about the daily walk and through the ups and downs. He's always been there. And I think that's probably more the theme. I have another song on there called Narrow Road that kind of talks about that. But yeah, I don't think I necessarily go into one planning that. It just kind of happens.
Is there a particular one that you're most excited about people to hear, or comes from a personal place or experience where it's like, I feel, God teaches us things for us, and then he wants us to pass some of that knowledge along?
Yeah. I mean, there's one, I mentioned it. The title track where the glory is near and dear to my heart, but there's one called Narrow Road that I really love for multiple reasons. It kind of it feels and sounds different than some of the songs I've had in the past, but then just the message is it's definitely just something that's been close to me. Just that walk with what does he say? Narrows the road that leads to life, and few may find it. So it just, the message that song says and brings, it feels something that's like timeless to me, and it feels close to just my walk with the Lord. So there's that one, but then also the one that's like, as far as like more of a worship song, corporate kind of worship song, Every Hour is a song that I wrote with my friend David Leonard, and we're actually about to release it to radio together. We get to do it together, and so that one is really special to me because, I mean, he started writing it from he was leading that song, Matt Maher's Lord I Need You, and he was leading that in a worship time at his dad's church, and part of this chorus just kind of came out of it, and then we got together and finished it together. So I love that. I love that it came out of a worship moment, and then getting to do a song with like one of your best friends and carry it to radio and all that. That feels really special too. So that one's probably my favorite on there. But
Do you enjoy the collaborative process in writing versus solo?
I do. I mean, it's not you don't mesh with like everyone. I mean, that's just in life. That's just the case. But so I love co-writing, and I don't have many horror stories, but when you do find someone like David, and I have some other friends that I write with a lot that are just, they're your writing buddies, but they're also like just my close friends in life. I mean, that's pretty great. Feel pretty blessed to get to collaborate with really great friends, and it makes it more fun. We just actually worked together yesterday. We were doing a music video for Every Hour yesterday, and so we spent like 8 hours together all day. We drove there together. We live in the same neighborhood, so it feels a little unfair that we get to like work together with like good friends and and make music. So it's pretty special.
When I talk to someone involved in worship music, I'm always curious about this because sometimes it's a struggle that I have personally. When you come into church, for example, as a worshiper, and you're coming with 50 million other distractions and family and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I've always wondered like what tips or suggestions are to flip that switch to get in a worshipful mode. I mean, it's a different place than just regular music. Is there something that you do that helps in that, or?
Well, I mean, that's a great question because I mean, I think 90% of us are probably, if you're married, and this is like probably the case, and if you're married with kids, it's almost definitely the case where you're coming into church probably out of an argument in the car, and not because you're a bad person, just because you're a human, and so I get that, and I mean, I think as a worship leader, it's kind of like it's part of our responsibility as a worship leader to help people to know like that's probably what a lot of people are coming in with all these, maybe it's just like a simple argument in the car, but maybe for a lot of people it's like even more serious, and it's hard to get your mind off that and focus on the Lord. So I think even practically in the songs that we choose to lead people in, I think it's like important to like, I know for me right out of the gate, I want to start with songs that just immediately are just like a vertical, like let's just like tell the Lord how great he is. Let's worship. Let's this coming straight out of the gate from a heart of like I want to get my eyes off myself and look straight to you, Lord. And I know when I do that as a worship leader, it sets people up for success as far as like just okay, let's get my mind off what is happening. I just want to focus on the Lord. And there's definitely personal responsibility as the congregate to do that, to like make up your mind up. Okay, I'm gonna put behind me what's happening, and essentially like maybe not put it behind me, but I'm just gonna give it to the Lord. But as I do that, I'm just gonna point my gaze to him. And it helps that a lot more when you're even choosing songs that just make that a lot easier, So
Any stories from the road as far as the hunger for worship, after show experiences, song impacts?
Yeah, I mean, well, just the other night, I was leading worship in just outside of Tampa, Florida, in Spring Hill, Florida, and just an acoustic worship night with my friend Mac Brock, and we just man, it was just the two of us on acoustic guitars, nothing else. And we didn't know what to expect. And that they just like packed this church up, maybe 1,000 people just there to like worship. And it wasn't this big elaborate concert kind of thing. We had no lights and smoke and all. It just the two of us on our acoustics. And it was just like one of the best nights of worship. And just not just that, we were sharing stories, and it was like a living room kind of vibe and setting. And it just I think it makes me excited for just this next season and what I feel like the Lord's doing. And that it's like, I feel like they just want Jesus. They just want to worship Jesus. And it's kind of bring it all back to like the that simple, like main thing of just worshiping the Lord. I mean, I think we see like breakouts all over our country right now in schools, and most of them are just students getting together, just worship Jesus. And there's not like big bands and all the the light. It's just like guys playing acoustics or piano and just worshiping the Lord. And I think that's that really excites me, and it makes me excited to go out and just connect and join with people and do that.
It definitely feels like it's a unique time. I mean, the success here of this past weekend with the Jesus Revolution movie just making huge inroads, what's going on in Kentucky and other places around the country. So feels very, very revival-esque right now, which is exciting.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
So one of the things I noticed here is gold certified singer. And I know that accolades are not really what it's all about, but when you get those look at that. When you get what does that mean? What does that mean to get that?
Oh gosh. What does it mean? I mean, I feel very blessed and honored. I didn't, I mean, I never started doing this thinking that was like, that was never a goal. My goal was I just wanted to like be a full-time worship leader at a church. I wanted that to be like, that was it. And that happened. I was 32 when that finally happened, 31, and making about that much and just barely getting by. But I was like, all right, this is goals met. Like this is what I want to do with my life. So that was the goal. And then the rest is just, wow, I can't believe the Lord just put his hand on a song or songs that I've written and just, take them all over the country, the world. It's just he's so good and he's been so faithful to me and my family. And yeah, it's just another that those little things like that, just another opportunity to just thank the Lord for all he's done, and then also just see like what an impact something that I write in this little room could have. And so it makes me like, just maybe be a little more intentional every day with how I do that.
Well, and I feel, the affirmation of all of that when the Bible talks about, your father knows what good gifts to give you.
Yeah.
We all have various forms of ego and driven. We want those,
Totally.
we want those accolades, not just for success itself, but just as a reminder that you're on the right path. So
yeah. No, that's
awesome.
That's so true. So true.
As far as family goes, 2 kiddos, right?
2 kids. They're downstairs in the middle of homeschool right now. Just, having good times, having bad times, fussing, ready to go outside. Yeah.
What was
a very
it like?
Normal life around here.
I know for me, when I had my son, no one can tell you about what it's like to be a father until you actually go through that experience. So for your first child, the first time that you're a dad, what was that like? How did that impact you, your relationship with God?
Yeah, no, that's so true. I had my daughter, she's 11, and she's our first, and my son is 10. They're pretty close together. And yeah, I mean, I just remember that, everyone's like, everyone tells you when you're gonna have kids, like, oh, it's gonna change everything, and you don't know, you don't understand life honestly now until after, in some ways. And I believe that, but then, you're like, I mean, I'm fine. I don't know. I didn't have kids when I was 32. So, I remember when my daughter was born, it's just like the immediate, when you see them, it's just like this overwhelming amount of love that I couldn't describe. And I don't think I ever had before. I mean, I love my wife, but I chose my wife. We chose each other. This child is just like, there it is. It's yours. And it's like a gift that was just given to him. And so, yeah, I just remember thinking, I have never loved something this much in my life. Like, I've never just like had that, I will do whatever to make things good for you just, so I think that, and and then in the practical sense, it just kids, I mean, marriage does this too, but then kids takes it to another level. It just like strips you away of all your like selfishness and just like shows you like, okay, here's some things you need to grow. And then when they're at their age that they're at now, where I realize like I hear myself in them and all the things that I've been needing to work on, and then it's already happened. It's coming out in my kids, and I'm, it's been a good little way for the Lord to just show me like little things I need to like tighten up in my own life. But
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't ask about Sheila, then your wife. So behind every strong man is probably an even stronger woman, huh?
Yeah, no, that's true. She's amazing. She's I mean, she's the greatest gift other than Jesus that I've been given. And she holds our home together. She's like the rock here. She's just that steady person, and not only our family's life, but just our friends. I mean, I have friends that like reach out to me and just, we love your wife so much. We like, she's like the friend that everyone calls and asks questions, whether it be from like, cooking stuff to like parenting to, nurse medical things, which she's not a nurse, but she just is really great with Google. And so, she's like everyone's holistic nurse and doctor but she's amazing. She's amazing. She is, and she's so honest. I'm very, I'm Southern. And so I'm very like, I'll say yes a lot, and just, I'm like the sweet talk, or, get along. And she's from Pennsylvania, and she just shoots you straight. And I need that in my life. I need her honesty. And she, I'll bring songs to her, and I know when they're good, because when she says they're awesome, then I'm like, okay, this song's awesome. Because if she doesn't care for it, she's not scared to just let me know. So it's just good.
Shoot straight.
Shoot straight. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I certainly want to be respectful of the time. Is there anything that you want to throw in to hit up, or do we cover pretty good?
I don't think so. I mean, we've got there's a lot of good things coming out. The like I said, every hour the radio song, and then I have a song on Bethel Music. We have a new album coming out. Come up here. We filmed it and recorded it in the Redwoods out in California. Nice. And I have a song on there called Time and Time Again that I wrote with my buddy Mac Brock, who I just went to Florida with. And so I'm excited about that. So yeah, it's a good little season for us here, and a lot of stuff coming out.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much. And
thank you for having me.